Welcome back to the Friday Show. I'm Scott Jagow along with Ray Paulick. It is Friday, March 20th. Today, a Derby trend that might surprise you, plus the usefulness of the morning line. But first, we're going to talk about race day medication. Ray, a proposal in Kentucky would allow racetracks to card races prohibiting Lasix. This issue continues. It also happens that the Breeders' Cup is in Kentucky this year. Are the two things related?
Well, I doubt you're going to get the Racing Commission of Kentucky or the Breeders' Cup to say that the two issues are related, but I hope they are. The Breeders' Cup voted several years ago to phase out the use of Lasix in all of their races. They started with 2-year-olds, and then all races were supposed to be run medication-free beginning in 2013. A threat of a lawsuit from an owner pushed the Breeders' Cup backwards. They reversed course, and since then, the races have been run with Lasix, and these are world-class races. I believe they should be run under international standards, and that means Lasix-free.
That was a more aggressive approach. This seems a softer approach. No approach has worked so far. There was a discussion on our website this week about incentivizing horsemen. What do you think about maybe adding weight to horses that are on Lasix?
Well, or giving a weight break to horses without Lasix. Lasix is a performance-enhancing substance. I think it's pretty clear that the science has shown that. It's a diuretic that causes horses to urinate 4 hours before the race. They lose a lot of body weight, and they run faster with less body weight. It's as simple as that. So a lot of the reasons horsemen that don't normally use it, say the Europeans, is because they don't want to run on an uneven playing field. So I say take weight off for horses that are racing Lasix-free. I think it's a fair thing to do.
Ray, I've got a tip for you. I was doing some pedigree research on Derby contenders this week, and I found something that surprised me. I went back and looked at Kentucky Derby winners' pedigrees. And did you know that no horse with Stormcat anywhere in their pedigree has won the Kentucky Derby? I find that amazing, as prolific as Stormcat has been. In fact, he's had a lot of Derby starters. The last 4 years, he's had 30 of them. But if you look at the way they finished, the last 4 last-place finishers had Stormcat in their pedigree. Last year, 3 of the bottom 4. The year before, all of the bottom 4 had Stormcat in their pedigrees. So I looked at this year's contenders, and the list is striking. American Pharoah, Dortmund, Carpe Diem, probably the top 3 right now, all have Stormcat in their pedigrees. And then you look at El Kabir, Firing Line, Far From Over. They also have Stormcat. So if you're looking for a way to eliminate some of the favorites, maybe this is it.
Well, I just think that's got to be a statistical anomaly. Stormcat is one of the, as you said, one of the greatest sires of the last 30 years. He's the sire of Giant's Causeway, the European Horse of the Year. He's the sire of Tabasco Cat, who won the Preakness and the Belmont. He didn't win the Derby, okay. But it's a matter of time before one of his descendants wins the Kentucky Derby, and this is probably going to be the year. And next year you'll be saying, "Oh, that didn't work so well, did it?"
Well, I'm just looking for an edge, man.
There's nothing wrong with that. Well, I got an email from someone named Ray. Yes, Ray, who wants to know why he never sees the odds 7-1 on a morning line at the racetrack. Well, Ray, it's a simple thing: tradition. Morning line makers use certain numbers and they don't use certain numbers. They use 9-2 and 8-1 and 12-1. They don't use 7, 9, 11, 13, whatever to 1. So it's just basically a tradition.
I saw this email too, and it actually made me wonder, why do we even need a morning line? The public is going to bet the way they're going to bet, and most people have a general idea of how the public is going to bet. So why is it even necessary to start out with a morning line?
Well, it's a starting point for handicapping. What it is it's one person's opinion of what the final odds of a race will be, so that when you go into the race, you get an idea of what each horse should be in terms of odds.
I get that. I find it counterproductive to look at the morning line because it negatively influences the way I think about the race. So I don't even want to have it in front of me. I know it's not going anywhere, but I just thought I'd bring it up.
It's really a good exercise to do your own morning line. I think establishing value on each horse in your own mind and then looking what the actual odds are could be a very useful way to find value in a race.
If you have a question for us, click on Ask Ray on the website paulickreport.com. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week from Gulfstream Park for the Florida Derby.